Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts are meant to give everyone a voice, a chance to speak with others who are passionate advocates for expanding the blockchain's use cases out into the world and beyond. Do you have a crypto community you would like to represent and hold open hangouts for? If so, you might find yourself on the path to owning a stake in Beyond Bitcoin. We are looking for people who care about people who want to bring others together, because crypto communities are people. Beyond Bitcoin is a movement of thinkers and doers in the crypto space. And if you feel you are one of them, reach out to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com for more information on how to debut your community's efforts to reach to the stars and beyond. Welcome everybody to another Beyond Bitcoin Hangout. Today is Friday, March 31st, 2017, and it is episode 2002. As every week, we're joined by people who are in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, and sometimes even people who are in other disruptive technology spaces, to talk about their projects and how they're going to be using these technologies to change the world. So everybody who understands blockchain and the cryptocurrency space, and for those of you who don't understand, who are new, you should understand that this is
We lost you.
Testing.
Yep.
You're back.
Of course I am.
Fuzzy was in the future 2002 episodes.
Yeah, the god struck him down.
Okay, where did you guys lose me at?
Just about the time you started speaking.
Other disruptive technologies and how they're going to change the world.
And how they're going to change the world. And as everybody understands in the blockchain space, and if you're new, you might not understand, but you will learn or you will understand early on that it is very much an ocean filled with sharks. It is the wild, wild west, and that you should always understand what's going on in the projects that you are going to put Bitcoin into and invest in. And one of the best ways that we found as a community to enable this is to archive the projects and offer a kind of service to cut the projects up and segment them and allow it to be where you can actually have a weekly snapshot of what a project is actually accomplishing in the space. They join up on our Beyond Bitcoin Mumble server every week, and they RSVP on our Steemit thread and are able to share in the bounties of the upvoted payouts that we received there. Some changes are going to happen on that front, just for anybody who's not aware. Some things have changed on the payouts in Steem. But with that said, the project's guest speakers here are earning trust in the community by joining up and being available, making themselves available to ask questions to them and to give updates on the projects that you are investing. And we started in the graphene ecosystem. We talk about other cryptocurrencies as well, but we do want everybody to see what the graphene ecosystem wields. So with that said, today we're going to be talking about two different projects. One of them is actually, this is kind of a special day. One of them is going to be PeerPlays. They join up and they RSVP'd and they're first. And I'm going to be actually second. Fuzzy, I'm going to be second, because I would like to talk about some upgrades that we are about to start seeing in Beyond Bitcoin. And I want to let everybody kind of know here first, because those who are not paying attention, they will. But I'm going to give everybody here and some people who've joined into Hangouts in the past some opportunities here in the next probably 3 weeks. To a month, maybe even sooner. So with that said, let's go ahead first and let's turn over the mic to Crypto Prometheus and Data Security Node, who are going to be providing their updates on PeerPlays. And I think that they have a winner that they're going to be announcing from a special competition that they announced last week as well.
Okay then, thank you very much. Hello everybody, my name is Jonathan Bahai. I am the president of the PeerPlays Blockchain Standards Association. It is the nonprofit organization which is supporting the PeerPlays project. It is March 31st, 2017, and today we wrap up a contest which we held for the past week for a contest winner to be able to take home $500 in Bitcoin. And we had a number of submissions. We had nearly about a dozen submissions. Everybody was so creative. I loved them all, and everybody had a really good laugh, and it looks like everyone had a lot of fun. The good news was that using Steam, everybody that made a submission was able to also make some Steam dollars in the process. And if you hadn't noticed yet, yesterday there was a hard fork with Steam. And what had happened was that one of the things they changed was the frequency of the payouts in Steam. Prior to the hard fork, it used to be every 24 hours. So people who had submissions into our contest were seeing anywhere from $20 to $150 for every one of their submissions. And that was all looking great. And then the hard fork came, and now suddenly it all shrunk down to dollars. But not to fret, this only means that the time period in which the rewards are put out has actually extended. Instead of being 24 hours, it is for 7 days. So all those who contributed to the PeerPlays competition are only going to see those payouts sometime next week. However, as we noted in the introducing the competition, whatever was earned in Steam was only one metric of many to determine who would be the winner for this contest. And we have counted all the tallies. We've gone through all the social medias. We've looked at all the retweets and the tweets and the likes and the shares. And we have determined that the winner is Roland P., who is the PeerPlays video maker. And so if you go on to the PeerPlays channel, you can see we retweeted everybody's submissions, and of them all, there was a video that was done by Roland where PeerPlays was explained using pairs. And this was by far the most hilarious one of them all, and it got shared the most and liked the most, and so therefore it wins $500 in Bitcoin. Congratulations, Roland. So
thanks a lot, guys. Super awesome. Woohoo! Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Are you riding on a lawnmower?
No, I'm actually standing outside in the center of Amsterdam near a crossroads. So
fantastic.
Great, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the PeerPlays rollout, and it was great fun to make this video together with my girlfriend.
Well, we really appreciated your submission, and so did everybody else, which is why it won. So the way the contest worked last time was that basically at the beginning of the 3 days, you were able to make your submissions, and whoever had the most social media coverage was the winner. So that was Roland. Now, today, because of what we saw with the results from this contest, we decided that we're going to do it again. And this time, we decided that the prize is not going to be $500. It is going to be $1,000. So get ready, rev up all your submissions. Everyone who submitted before, start being creative and come up with something else and put in more submissions, this time for $1,000. Now, this time around, we are doing things a little differently. As a result of the Steam hard fork, instead of 3 days, we're going to run this for 7 days. And also, the way it works for your submissions will be like this. And by the way, this will be posted online so that everybody will be able to read over how this goes. You'll be able to make your submissions not only to Steam it, but you can post your submission into Reddit. So you can post on both Reddit or Steam it. As the reason for this is because we actually had quite a few people who wanted to participate in this competition, but believe it or not, they didn't want to post to Steam it, or they didn't want to go about the process of creating an account, mainly because I guess they wanted to be able to use a platform that they preferred. So Reddit was the second choice. So we are going to have Reddit and Steemit be the two places where you make your post, and then at that time, and then what will happen is that you will use the hashtags, hashtag PeerPlays, hashtag crowdfund, and hashtag contest. And then what you got to do is tweet out that submission. So you want to tweet that out and make sure that you not only include the hashtags, but you tag PeerPlays. So make sure that you include the tag PeerPlays in your submissions, and that will be what is counted for this competition. And again, once again, it's going to be all about the shares, the likes, the tweets, the retweets, and however many are counted over the course of the 7 days for this competition. So what will happen is that the winner will be announced at the next Beyond Bitcoin next week, which we're very excited about. And we're really looking forward to everybody submitting more creative stuff, because this was a lot of fun. And of course, we're really looking forward to giving $1,000 to the lucky winner. And of course, those who do submit to Steam are also going to see our support as they did in this round as well. So thank you everybody who did your submissions. You were all awesome. And that's I believe that's about it. Like I said, we will be posting the details that I just described, but you're hearing it first here on the Beyond Bitcoin show. So those details will be going out, and we'll share them here, and we'll also be letting everybody know on our social media channels. That is all for me. Right now, Michael is with us, and he just got back from Minsk, and he is back in Amsterdam now, and he has some updates for us to share on that. And that's all. Thank you very much, everybody.
I'm glad to see that it went so well. I'm just going to say that when I saw the pair one, I busted a gut laughing, and I fell in love with the competition.
Yeah, it was really funny. Roland, I had a question. You said that you and your girlfriend made it. Is your girlfriend just you with a higher voice?
No, I actually have a girlfriend.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
So, no, it was her.
Yeah,
At first, she was just helping to scroll down the teleprompter on my Mac. But then I asked her if she wanted to do this, to be the second peer.
Yeah, it was really amazing. The voices, I think, were the best part.
So I was just curious, Jonathan, is PeerPlays actually a pyramid scheme?
That's hilarious. I don't see how it can even be resembled as such. But yeah, that's I guess that's a throwback to all the startup.
It's a reverse pyramid. It funnels all the money back to the people rather than away from them.
Epic.
There was just actually one more thing I wanted to mention in regards to the competition. Some of you have made comments about becoming a witness in PeerPlays. And for anybody who knows, PeerPlays is a DPoS blockchain, which means that it is based on voting. And in order to be voted for, people got to know who you are. And a great way for anybody who has any ambitions of becoming a witness in PeerPlays is for you to take part in this competition right now, so that you can get out there in social media, get people to know you, and also let us know about you, and show what you have to offer to the PeerPlays network. Because when the time comes to be voting for witnesses, if you haven't gotten out there and gotten known by everyone so that they can see that you're somebody who is vote worthy, you're not going to get very far. So I highly recommend anybody who has any ambitions of becoming an honored witness in the PeerPlays blockchain to take part in this competition today.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. So my name is Michael Maloney. I'm the Director of Intelligence at the PeerPlays Blockchain Standards Association. I am here, as Jonathan mentioned, back in Amsterdam. I had a really incredible week, about three days of all-day meetings with some really talented team that we have working on more than one application on the PeerPlays network. As many of you probably know by this stage, PeerPlays is, we're not only in the process of almost launching a blockchain, or beginning to put together the pieces to publish the full version, but also helping to bring about a number of applications, working scalable applications that interact with that blockchain simultaneously. So we have we've got some really, really great teams working on totally separate things to bring all of this together, and it's just it's a lot of incredible amount of work, and also just incredibly encouraging and heartening to see so many people that are putting so much into this, and it's showing in a lot of real ways now. When all this begins to be rolled out, I think that a lot of people are going to be really, really happy with it. And so anyway, I just wanted to sort of give you guys a little bit of reflection on my week. I don't have any specifics to share about the project, but I did want to open it up real quick. We only have about 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes left. I know there were a few questions I didn't get to last week. And if anybody has any questions right now, please feel free to speak up or drop them into the sidebar, and I'll do my best to answer them.
I have a couple questions, but I want to make sure that no one else has any technical questions.
I was wondering when decentralized poker may be potentially available, if known yet.
Decentralized poker, we have a number of different games that we're working on to set up a platform for that. There's more research that needs to be done into this, to be quite honest. We have a lot of the foundation, but poker is something that we're going to be actually one of the first topics of conversation when we boot up the the community discussion. I think the question is about scalability and the game theory proof aspect of it. So there's been a lot of different projects that have taken on a number of different methods from attempting to create models that could be bot proof in the future. And this is something that we have not yet been convinced is at the stage that is releasable in any form. So we're if it sounds kind of cryptic what I'm saying, let me try to explain it in real simple terms. The technology to create the actual business logic behind poker is very basic. It was written probably soon after Alan Turing created scripting languages or computer programming. But it's not so much the whether or not we can put it on the blockchain. It's whether or not putting on the blockchain would not scale into a situation where bots would rule everything, and it would be sort of not really doable by players. I think that's the conclusion so far based on all the evidence. Now that said, that doesn't mean that we won't be rolling it out. So our multi game platform, the release date, which we haven't really said publicly yet, but I will say now that it'll be towards the end of this summer, we'll have the capability of doing that. We won't be creating the actual game, but it won't be very hard to do with it. So I hope that makes sense. And if you have more questions about what I just asked or any sort of thoughts on that, feel free to speak up.
No, that sounds good. I understand
Michael,
it's complicated. Go ahead, Volunteer.
Michael, I had a question. So since I read a bit about in the white paper about the PeerPlays, and then you guys mentioned that you're going to work with smart contracts, basically also as Ethereum does. And I was curious whether you could actually limit the PeerPlays blockchain to gaming only, or wouldn't it mean by having the way to publish smart contracts that anyone can utilize the network for anything besides gaming as well?
Sure. So the main difference here is I'll give you, and I don't want to take too much time here because our time's almost out, and the question you asked is actually requires more than a 5-minute answer. But what I will say, Roland, is that the smart contracts on PeerPlays do not have resemblance to smart contracts on Ethereum. So if you are thinking in the space of how Ethereum works, that's not how Graphene works. So that's the really, really short answer that doesn't really tell you anything probably, except I would recommend looking into graphene and understanding how smart contracts work on graphene. There's a consensus that is required in order to fork in what you would call smart contracts or code that influences the balances of the accounts. And that code is shared by all for a fee. So rather than individuals publishing codes unilaterally without consensus, and then basically having to pay a fee to run those codes in a virtual machine, and having a bunch of virtual machine applications sort of interacting with each other, that's Ethereum's model. So they're fundamentally different models, blockchain models, and so I didn't feel like I could adequately answer your question without sort of explaining that background information, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of clarity and doesn't just cause more questions.
No, it's cool. I'll look into it more myself as well. Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, well, I'm gonna wrap up here, guys. Sorry, I went a little over, but I just want to mention that anyone who wants to check out the PeerPlays project, please head to PeerPlays.com is our landing page. All the discussions happening on the Telegram channel right now at PeerPlays. And you can also head to PeerPlays.com/news. That's where we'll be publishing a bunch of new updates here in a few weeks. I don't know if Jonathan mentioned, but we'll mention it again. April 7th is the launch of our Core Wallet testnet, which is just a week from now. So that's really exciting. I can't wait to share all of that. We can't wait to share all of that with you. It's been something we've been working on for a long time. That's all I got for this week. So thank you guys, and we'll talk again next week.
Brendel did have one question, though. Brendel, would it be okay if he asked it? I think that he kind of got interrupted earlier when he was asking.
Yeah, we can save it. We can save it for the after party, or Jonathan can. Michael can start the discussion on that question now.
Is that okay, Crypto, or do you have to get going right now?
Yeah, no, I was actually just kind of trying to wrap things up neatly for the recording, but hey, let's keep going.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that he gets his chance if you can do it.
Absolutely.
And I can edit it, like I said, so we're all good.
All right, Brendel, go for it.
I would like your thoughts on how we could conduct a coercion stress test where we LARP scenarios of resisting intelligence agencies attempting to take over enough witnesses to control the network. I also wanted to ask Chris this in the BitShares forum, and obviously it would also apply to Steam.
Yeah, I think my imagination jumps to the question: what do we mean by coercion, and what degree of coercion tactics does any intelligence agency possess that could influence that type of thing? I would say from a robustness of the witness network standpoint, you have the reality that witnesses don't need to be known characters necessarily, except in a sort of cyberpunk sense, that everyone knows who they are, and what they've done. There's a lot of people out there that are sort of semi-anonymous but have been trusted for a very long time. I'm just sort of, feeling around the edges here to give you kind of a sense of the nature of how witnesses are, you don't, in other words, you don't have to declare your GPS coordinates, to become a witness. There's the way the graphene works is that even if you shut down all the witnesses simultaneously, you really don't have anything except, a hard fork, essentially, and if you shut down a few of them, well, you can, the rest of them can still operate and everyone can shift their voting over to some new ones. So I don't know, coercion takes on many forms. You can bribe people, you can threaten them, witnesses are a real tangible thing. They're human beings. So I think I would interpret the question as how do you conduct a coercion test against human beings, to which I would reply, that's sort of beyond the palace scope of beyond my pay grade. I don't usually do those types of things. So, but those are my thoughts.
Well, I did mention that it would be, it's acting, it's scenarios, and I'm also just wondering if any of these witness networks are actually being monitored to make sure that a certain percentage are anonymous?
Well, that's up to the stakeholders, right? I mean, we can ask that to the BitShares community. You know, does everyone who holds BitShares know who all the BitShares witnesses are? I would say absolutely not. I think BitShares, the way that BitShares went out about being distributed, or the way, you know, Cryptonomics went about distributing the original BTS tokens, really allowed for maximum anonymity. You know, with the combination of share dropping on a mined chain and share dropping on a crowdfund addresses. So both of those things can be as completely anonymous as someone wants them to be, and I think that's sort of the genesis of why there's such strength and robustness in the system, is because many people in this movement, and especially people who are sort of aware enough to understand where graphene actually truly sits in the throne room of crypto technologies, is also very privacy conscious. And I know I'm speaking to the choir here, Brindle, because I know you and I'll call you out by name, but there's lots of other people in here that are extremely good at maintaining their privacy, and that's the reason why we have such a good system. So that's what I think.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, Crypto. Thank you, Data. As always, it's good to see that you guys are continuing to step forward, to move forward, and find progress. It's good to see that you're starting to be able to get like a little bit situated where you are. And I'll say this: I look forward to seeing what happens on Reddit, Steemit, and Twitter over the next week for this $1,000 contest. So may the best fool win. I would say.
May the best pair win.
Oh. No, you can't use the pear thing again, man. You got to at least use something like tomatoes or
I didn't say pear. Pear. What did you hear?
Oh, well played. Well, okay. Up next is me, aka Fuzzy. I haven't been talking a whole lot about this stuff for a while because I really wanted to. For those who are here who know the history of it, I've been struggling to make sure that this gets done and done well for a while. And Fuzzy has learned things in the process himself. However, we now have some really good things that are going on because we've found some developers who are really on point, and we are moving forward on the ShareBot. I just was sent some update photos today. I'll go ahead and I'll post those actually in here if I can. Seems like I can only post the links, so that's what I'm going to do. We're going to have forums. And I'm going to open it up initially for people who want to join up. You're going to need to have copper tickets. I haven't decided on the exact amount yet, but there will be a market between copper tickets and silver tickets. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, who were here when the earliest stages of the ShareBot were running, you would see that we would actually have this. We would have Hangouts, and you would sign up a guest list and all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it set up first and foremost for the forums. Everything else will be plugged in later. And we are working on PHP VB forums. And if you want to get in, next week I'll be telling you exactly how much in copper tickets it's going to be. Some people who are guest speakers, who used to be guest speakers quite often, have silver tickets, and there will be a market between silver and copper tickets, so you'll be able to actually exchange your silver tickets for copper tickets and hand them out to people to test the forums and to be on the forums where we're actually going to be able to tip tokens to people. So we're going to have that during the beta phase, and the reason why I'm doing that is because those of you who have been here for a long time, yes, you know what? I would imagine that shouldn't be a problem. Let me talk to you about it behind the scenes. I'll find out all the no, that's fine. I'll find out all the details about it. To be honest with you, the people who ran it in the early stages, you guys know. So it might be something where we reimburse you, but that's fine. I probably do have access to it. Cube would have definitely had access to it, but he kind of disappeared from our community and just poof. I don't know what happened to Cube, actually. He's a very nice guy. So maybe just something big happened in his life. But regardless, we're going to have, I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to use this because in the coming weeks, actually, probably in the coming week, I'm actually betting once my dev talks to Xerox or maybe Ken Code or one of a couple people about and asks some questions and receives some answers. That the vote tokens WhaleShares is going to be finished probably next week. So we're going to have WhaleShares. The upgraded Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts. We're going to have our own forums, and the people who get in early are going to be the ones who attended these Hangouts way back in the day and have been here through the hard times. So I just want to kind of let everybody know where we stand on that. If you can see Sharebits, this is just the basic mock-up and everything. There's always a way of upgrading the user interface's prettiness. We can look at that, but I like it even the way it is currently. As far as it's just a simple user interface, it's a lot better than the last one was. We're going to do it right this time. And we're going to have a place where you can join up and you can have your own Hangouts. You can have a guest list that everybody can sign, and you'll be able to be part of this community. And we're going to have the ability for communities to actually have their own sub forums as well and pass out their tokens on the forums. So we're going to have it so BitShares and other forums can plug into Sharebits. And I want to have it so we have an API where it connects up and works with Twitter and Reddit and other open auth APIs. So with that said, that's kind of where I stand. I didn't want to. I can talk here all day about it, but I'm very interested to hear if there's anybody here who has any questions, any concerns with the way I'm pulling this out and the way I'm going to be launching it for certain people to get in and test it. If there's any problems or you see something that might be an issue, please let me know. Please bring it up. Yeah, we're getting there, man. We're getting there, G-Chicken. Talkinator says, in terms of content, do you see a need to maintain the BitShares Talk forums? I do, Talkinator, or at least maybe Steam-based forums that are for BitShares. I think it's nice to have a community, a forum for a community to kind of have an information hub, right? Telegram's nice, but and even Steam, it's nice, but it's just not a forum. You know what I mean? The way that it works isn't like a forum. Now, there are people who could create user interfaces, as well as anybody, that would mimic a forum or that would act like a forum. So it's possible, but it's not there yet. But yes, a forum I think is very important. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thanks.
No problem. But BitShares is going to be moving forums as well to Discord. We're trying to get that figured out in the process. So we'll see.
Hey Fuzzy, will you guys have cross chain transactions on this?
Well, as I see it, and maybe I'll be wrong, but I'll have to double check on everything. But as I see it, the way it's going to be built, it's going to be able to connect up other graphene chains at least. But this is going to be This is more going to be for. You weren't here during the times when we had these hangouts. But what we would do is I would have a guest list, and I would have everybody sign it. In this case, we're going to have a guest list. Everybody's going to sign it. They're going to do a CAPTCHA and complete a CAPTCHA. Then they're going to sign it with some details. And then we will go onto the forums and we will post it onto the forums, and it will actually read off of the forums all the individuals who are going to be tipped, and it'll tip you into your wallet. So then we're going to have it so eventually you can do this. You can key in key phrases and kind of call the bot to tip other people on social media in addition to it. The quoted time for this was about 8 weeks to have that totally done, but the forums will be done in the next 2 weeks to 3 weeks. So the test forums. Then we'll have to implement them, and then which shouldn't take very long. And then we'll have obviously people who want to get into those forums to test it, which I will urge everybody to, of course, when we're testing it, not to hold a bunch of your tokens on it while we're testing it and all that good stuff. But we will test it, and we will have a limited offering of people being able to use the forums early on. And that's just because the people who joined these Hangouts and have been here, there's a reason why we're still here, and it's because of you guys and your support and your upvotes. So I've spent a lot of the money that I've earned from upvotes to build this stuff because you guys have empowered me to do so. So I want to give back where I can. It doesn't always happen as quickly as I would like to, but once we do that, then we will start opening it up. I would like to talk to Valentine about some things with the forums before we get too deep into the forums and the ranks and all that stuff. But I'm thinking that there will be like a newbie rank, and you won't be able to receive tips if you're a newbie. You have to have like 100 posts or something, maybe, or maybe you can pay an amount to go up to the next rank where it enables you to, something to that effect. That's what I would like to see on that end. But we're going to have forums. We're going to have all this stuff set up so you'll be able to have your own communities. We're going to have WhaleShares, which is going to be the token for Whale Tank, and we're going to have panelists. So if you know people in Steam who are whales, reach out to them and tell them that you would like them to proxy, to create their own token, or to maybe give you some of their Steam power as a proxy, so you can power up a token that you can give to community members who help you. And those will be good for upvotes, and we'll be passing those out as well. And that should be actually done before the forums and everything. So that's where we stand. I've given you guys the screenshots on the Sharebits. I need a couple things, questions answered for the developer who's working on WhaleShares for the Python library. But once that's done, he said that he has pretty much all week that he's going to be off of work, so he's going to have time to finish it. And he's going to be part owner of it, and I'm going to support the heck out of this program, and I would love if you guys would consider trying to join the panel as whale representatives and pass out tokens at the Whale Tank Hangouts to the projects that join up. I really want to start giving us a reason, and the whales a reason, to stop powering down. And if we can use BitShares to make Steam power essentially liquid as a vote token, we're looking at a really cool and powerful tool. And then we add into it forums where people can work together and prepare posts and such. And they can also tip BitShares-based tokens that can be used as WhaleShares tokens as well. We're going to have a lot of cool things that we can do. So with that said, does anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts?
Oh, I had another question. I do remember signing the guest list a few times, but you said that at the time Sharebits was down. Will that be represented in any way when that comes around?
If you can point me to it, I would love to. I'll go look into it. How about this? I'll go look into it. Remind me to look into it if I don't get back to you on it. But
yeah, no problem.
I don't see why not. I would love to. I would love to pay some of those copper tickets to people, because there's something that is valuable to me to be able to give out.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. I'm glad that you are moving forward with that, Fuzzy. Good news to hear.
Yeah.
I knew you were holding out on something.
Well, I remember we learned a long time ago to not say too much until we're pretty dang sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
One of the things I miss about Dan not showing up here is his occasionally questioning anything, like the value of proof of work, doing articles on that, and everybody would freak out. I'm wondering if you've done the same thing with your whale assumptions. I personally think the voting in Steam until they take care of the n-squared thing is broken and it doesn't work. And I think Steem is an amazing platform for being a PayPal replacement. And I love that Busy has put tipping in. I actually, I'm thinking more along the lines of whales should be powering down and becoming whales in Steam-backed dollars, or just whales in Steam to push the value of those things. And when you're a whale, you have to kind of defend the platform, and it makes your opinions, more questionable. Like I think you underplay Dan leaving. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you a hard time about those issues.
Oh, I don't underplay Dan. What do you mean Dan leaving?
Well, it is nice that he is.
Phoenix
Okay, that was weird.
driving in a truck or something.
Underwater.
Now what's up?
I think IntelliGuy put it pretty well that, he really wasn't just saying I'm a shipbuilder and I'm moving on. He was, I'm not going to post anymore or vote anymore, even though he has just recently. So, to me, it's he's saying he doesn't have confidence in the system because it's not truly open source, is what I was getting from it. But anyway, when you're a whale, you want to downplay that. You want to downplay the fact that things aren't working. You want to tell people not to power down. I think everybody should power down, and we should admit that the voting doesn't work. And let's make Steam work without the voting thing. It is still the best and easiest way to hold crypto, and it's free blogging, and it's censorship resistant.
Well, Brenda,
that stuff should be enough.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you have this token and there's no reason to do it, I'm going to tell you straight out. If you ask for tips, it's a lot harder, first off. Second off, we do have a blockchain that's censorship free. Third off, if you look at any other network, social network, it has a board of directors, it has people who oversee the operations of it, a CEO, a CTO. It's got all of this structure, this old paradigm structure to it, right? But the thing is, they don't have transparency like we do. So the people who have a lot of funds in the system, yeah, they can damage it, but they don't have an incentive to damage it. Now, I'm not against whales powering down. I just don't want them to power down and sell at 5 cents. Because why would you? Why would I want that? Why would I destroy something that is a powerful tool for me, and might need to change in its own ways, but we can help that. I don't see a reason to change it to a tipping only platform, because then who gets empowered and enriched by it? Less the people who are actively voting and participating, and more the people who are sitting in the back who are on the quote unquote board. It's a lot more changes than you think it is. I think, man. That's my thought on it. But I mean, I'm for censorship-free blockchain-based media and content storage. I mean.
What are you
Yeah,
thinking?
we should
Bruno,
probably
that-
save this for after party.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Well, it's going along with the lines with the WhaleShares, and I think that I really think that if a token is worth $3, whales are going to sell the heck out of it for a while. So you will see a natural progression of people who power down to the point where, I mean, it's very early, guys. In what we learned in BitShares was being too decentralized too early on can cripple you. So what we've learned is, and this is why I suspect Dan actually called it reverse Flash, was because it kind of like has to exist for Flash to exist, right? But it's kind of like Steam, in my eyes, could overtake Bitcoin talk. Now for graphene, that's a powerful thing, and it's a powerful way to get people into cryptocurrencies. We change it to be something that it's not. I just don't see it being beneficial. And the reason why I want to do WhaleShares is, I'll tell you the story, man. And this is for everybody who, some of you guys weren't here for this, but I will tell you a story if you do not know it about BitShares, I mean beyond Bitcoin. Early days. Very early days, there was a guy named Brian. I won't get into the last names. but he was given a good chunk of money for marketing, and he wanted to, because we did the angel shares thing and the proto shares, and there was a lot of funding. Well, I think it was like 16 million. Somebody can feel free to let me know if that's incorrect, but I think it was 16 million that was garnered from this. And what ended up happening was he said, I want to create a Shark Tank out in Las Vegas. We're going to have actual Shark Tanks and everything. And the community was like, hell no, we're not spending all of our money on that. We're spending money on development, on developing things. And because I saw that, I was like, I'm a gamer. This is the story of how this came to exist. I'm a gamer. I've run guilds. I know of Ventrilo and TeamSpeak and Mumble and all these programs that exist that can kind of be like a conference that would be very cheap. And I even went and we created a thread where people gave their ideas on what it should be called, what the podcast should be called, and everything. And Beyond Bitcoin stuck out. I was going to go and do BitShares Fireside Chats. That's what I was going to call it. But somebody came up with Beyond Bitcoin. I don't remember who. I'm sure it's on the forums. But I created Beyond Bitcoin. And I reached out to Brian and I said, I put up this Mumble server. I've got this thing set up for you. You can go and use this as your conference, right? And because he didn't do it, I was like, man, I don't understand why he's not doing something with it, right? This is a great brand name. This is a great everything. And got frustrated a little bit for a while and decided that I was just going to do it myself. I would run them. And because of that, we've gone through as a community a lot of crazy stuff. We have I'll tell you, I think why this even exists is because we haven't had marketing and media presence on the level that we needed to for so long. And a social network was a great way, grassroots way to start, right? A transparent way to start it. So today we have Steam, we have BitShares. Both of them have different problems that are trying to be solved. One needs more liquidity. The other one, it has quote unquote whale problems, right? But if you have tokens from BitShares that can be created and backed by communities of people or impartial percentage, like I could give 100,000 of my SP to a token as a whale. Now I can kind of decentralize the power and give the tokens to people I trust, people who aren't going to screw us over or do nothing with the funds, or at the very least, it will be something where I've given them some tokens, and if they screw me over, they're going to run out of tokens eventually, right? And we can create a free market type of solution, whereas instead of whales going out and like downvoting each other, people, we can actually make it so they give their voting power out to others to give to people who deserve it, or speculators who know how to who know how to get the tokens, or people who, for Whale Tank, which is going to be, it's not going to be the Shark Tank like Brian wanted to create. It's going to be Whale Tank, which is just all irony to me for the story, because we're going to have Whale Tank. We're going to be able to give people tokens so they can be panelists. If they earn the Steam power backing those tokens by community members who want to give partial votes to those tokens or partial proxy power to those tokens, when we have that, we're going to, I think, actually open up a lot more opportunities. And with the Whale Tank Hangout, it'll literally be for panelists who have a bunch of whale power behind those tokens to pass them out to people who are joining and doing essentially what they would do at a Shark Tank. Here's my 15-minute preview of what we're doing. We're going to upgrade Beyond Bitcoin. And I think that these tools are magnificent the way they are. They're young, so we're improving them. But I think we're getting there, man. Now, I will agree with you. I think busy having tipping is nice. I think it's a nice added effect.
Yeah, I'm still here. But yeah, like I said, we should probably save this for the after party. But I mean, just one thing that strikes me is that, you know, one change that comes down from Steemit Inc. can change the whole dynamics of how the WhaleBot works and how the whole system works. It can change seemingly overnight quite often. It's so hard to keep up with. I'd like to see parallel multiple experiments And again, if the platform just worked for those things that it is so good at right now, that would be great. But at the moment, the voting, people aren't reading the posts. They're just voting, and they're not reading, and so that part is very annoying.
I'll tell you this, Brindle. My take on it is that I look at it from a different perspective. I look at it from a co-op perspective, where if I trust you and I know that you're not going to game the system and you're going to actually put thought into your content and you care about your content, or maybe you've just done a lot of favors for me and you've helped. I have invested stake in this. So if I give you some upvotes, that's my prerogative. I look at this as a social network that is transparent, where you can reward people who are friends with you and who you trust. I don't necessarily think that it's the best model if you want to create the most perfect content ever, though I think it would. I mean, once you get enough people into something, the competition makes it so people are pretty fierce in the quality that they create, or at least the shock value they create, either one. There will be battles, but I think that it still is a great place for me to, for instance, help upvote PeerPlays things. Like they're the people who are creating PeerPlays logo stuff and things like that. Well, yeah, Patreon, we could add that. That's the thing. We could add, like Phoenix saying, you could add those things. You could add, pay this amount of Steam-backed dollars every month to this author. Why couldn't we? We could become like Patreon too with this tool. Now, I think that, Brindle, there might have been some issues with wanting it to be open source. I'm pretty sure that I tend to agree with the idea of open sourcing all of it, but that's kind of not my take on it right now. I see it as a wonderful tool. Maybe something better will come along. Steam's a hell of a funnel, man. It's a hell of a funnel.
Could it be that maybe Steemit needs like, does Steemit Inc. have like a board or something like that?
I don't want to. I really don't want to tell you because I don't know everything about the inner workings of Steemit.
Because it could just be that it needs somebody with an actual vision. To me, I don't feel like there's really a vision. I feel like there's just experimentation, but there's no real solid vision or clear vision of where. I think there's a vision of what the technology is supposed to be, but I don't think that there's a clear vision of what the platform is. That's why there's so many suggestions that contradict themselves. You got half the community that wants this, but it's like you need some kind of head.
Do we have other speakers for the main hangout, or are we in the after party?
No, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to end this, and we'll go ahead and go into the after party because I would like to go into the after party anyway. I gave my updates, and I'm very pumped. I'm finally. I mean, all of you guys know, Solly, you know, I've been working on getting this damn Sharebits thing tight and ready. And I actually talked to Ronnie. We're considering doing an IPO, an ICO rather. When we have this done, when we have this done, well, I want to show something for it. You know what I mean? I'm tired. All of our community seems to have this streak where we don't like to ask for a lot of money unless we've shown it. I don't know why, but that's like we have that kind of community here in this mumble right now. It's amazing to me. But that's kind of how I am too. You know what I mean? So now that we have that, we're going to be able to actually say, hey, see, look, this is on this forum. People can pass around their own tokens. They can create their own tokens. They can add them to other forums. We're going to be able to show that, and then we're going to be able to actually ask for some more funding and actually, get the licensure and all the things that we're going to need and upgrade everything. It's going to be nice, and it's going to be cheaper to run because we're going to be relying on the BitShares network instead of running our own centralized servers for everything. I mean, we will have some servers running, but it won't be. Most of the stuff on the back end is going to be BitShares. So, yep. But anyway, if you want to reach me, you can check me out at @officialfuzzy on Steemit, and I'm on Twitter at @beyond_Bitcoin. So check me out, follow me, upvote my stuff, retweet all the things that we're doing here. I segment these hangouts and I send them to my brother. Well, I do the artwork. I've got a template that I sent my brother. He does the actual pulling it apart, labeling it, cutting it up, and then he sends it to me, and then I upload it. Please support him. He's new, so I'm kind of holding his hands, but he's got connections, or he's going to have connections in some really good places too, in terms of the accounting industry. So we're going to be having these segments cut up. Please share them as well. These are the guest speakers hangouts. So with that said, I guess we'll talk to you guys next week on a Friday, as always. And make sure that you show up with a post about Beyond Bitcoin or something to that effect. Those of you who have a post that you've posted to Beyond Bitcoin, please feel free to share the link in our Mumble window below, and I will upload it. With that said, thank you guys very much, and we'll talk to you next week.